So I'm doing this YouTube video and we got this guy named Russ. He's an online coach. He helps solar companies. He's stuck at $4,000 a month and I'm going to double his sales in 30 days or less. And I need something to be at stake. I need like a bad thing, a bad consequence if I can't double his sales in 30 days or less.
Okay, so you want some ideas?
Yeah, I need some
ideas. You can't hit your goal.
goal.
Well, good thing I'm good at bad ideas. What if you got like a really shitty tattoo if you didn't achieve your goal?
Like what kind of tattoo?
Something like Joe Biden sniffing a kid.
Joe Biden sniffing a kid.
That's the worst thing I could imagine.
Okay, so like
I don't see anything more painful than that.
No, that's pretty painful. Yeah. So, okay, so I have to double his sales in 30 days or less.
Yeah.
Or I have to get a tattoo of Joe Biden sniffing a child.
Yeah. I feel like for you, it might be a little easy, to be honest. What if you triple the sales?
Triple. So
Yeah.
I gotta triple his sales in 30 days.
Yeah. You want to put some extra mustard on it. What if you had your team triple Russ's sales instead of you?
So my team has to do it. I can't coach him.
Yeah, so 30 days, triple Russ's sales with your team, not you. And if you can't do it, you get the Joe Biden tattoo.
Okay. All right. So like maybe I have like an introductory call with him just to tell him like what's going on, and then my team takes over.
Yeah.
And they have to triple his sales in 30 days or less.
It's life or death. Like either your team can train him and triple his sales, or it's Joe Biden time.
All right. Let's find a tattoo shop.
Hey there.
What's up? How you doing?
All good. Having a good day?
I would like to get a tattoo.
Of course. What do you have in mind?
Well, if this is not the weirdest tattoo that you've been requested all week, I'll be shocked. It is a tattoo of Joe Biden sniffing a child on my back.
Definitely up there.
You can do the stencil thing where you put it on and I can see
Exactly.
what it looks
That's
like.
part and parcel of just about every tattoo, whether I'm drawing it on with an actual pen or if I'm actually
Okay.
filling out the stencil itself.
So I'll get to see what it'll look like if I were to get it.
Exactly. We can just imprint it right on.
All right, awesome. So this would be the exact image, but instead of, this is, I think, the only time I've seen him sniff someone over the age of 18.
Mm-hmm.
So we want a child there. And then I'm just thinking like this.
That's huge.
Yeah, but look, she's like, no, don't sniff me. No, this can't be the most ridiculous thing I've ever done, can it? This is getting way too real. Like, this is getting way too real. Thanks for the idea, Eric. Thank you. You're a
Careful
great
now.
friend. I hear Christian laughing.
Okie dokie.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah.
It's you, dude. I think it's you.
Yeah, it's totally me. No, I could see where that would be me. Yeah, I would rock that.
Is absolutely insane.
I think he's like, I don't see any good coming out of this.
Wind bars and stuff and swing them back over.
Oh, the child I'm sniffing. All right, well, here's what I can tell you. As awesome as, and you did a great job. I really don't want this tattoo. So I really hope I can triple this guy's sales. So after that experience at the tattoo shop, I can confidently say I would do anything to not get that tattoo. So the very next thing I did was hop on my one and only Zoom call with Russ, and here is a highlight reel to show you exactly what we were in for.
It's just looming over me, man. Like I sit here and I stress and I think about I need to make money so I can pay off this debt so I can be free, so I don't have to spend so much time in this office and I can go out and spend more time with my daughter. And I do the best I can, you know. You see, I get emotional because
I get it, man. I got a kid.
she sees her dad in the office all the time and is like, well, you know, daddy's in here trying to make money, you know. So, you know, at some point I want to be able to take a day off and spend it with her without thinking, shit, I got to get back to John, whose leads are converting, and he might do a chargeback on me, you know?
You're going to be able to spend that time with your daughter. Let's dive into what you got going on. Here's the deal. You either have a problem with marketing or sales or both. Marketing meaning getting leads, getting people interested to speak with you. Sales meaning once you do speak with them, getting them to give you money.
I sell a marketing package to solar business owners and solar sales reps. I advertise it as I'm going to set you up your own in-house marketing department. I'm going to support you for 3 months. And then when I'm done supporting you for 3 months, you take it over and you own your own marketing department.
And do you charge $2,000 for this?
Yes. I know.
Why don't you charge 20,000?
Because I don't know if I can get that much.
Listen, if you told me that you were going to set up a marketing department for me and then I was going to take it over and do everything you just said, and you said it was only $2,000, I would not, I would end the call. Because that would be like if you said, hey, Dan, I'm going to sell you this Rolex right here that's worth $18,000, but I'm going to give it to you for $500. I'd run because I know it wasn't real.
Right.
Even if it was real, I would think it wasn't. Let me ask you this. If you got $20,000 for what you do versus $2,000, could you do a better job?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, then what the are you doing? Like think about this. Like really think about this. You're taking $2,000 to do something, to do a shitty job. At the end of the day, return wise, if you got $20,000 per client and you could really focus on that client, could you make them way more of a return?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I can make them at least double more.
Okay, so what you're actually doing here by charging only $2,000 is you're intentionally hurting your client. Can I get a couple commitments from you?
Absolutely.
You will charge $20,000 from now on.
$20,000 from now on. All right. I said I will do anything you say. So the price is $20,000.
Okay, your new price is $20,000. It's not $2,000. I tell you what, I have a program called the Daily Sales Huddle. We charge a chunk of change for it. It's not cheap. So here's what I want to do. I want to give you 2 weeks access to this. Can you commit to meet with my team for 1 hour a day, every day for 2 weeks?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. I'm going to give you 2 weeks access to this to prove that if you have daily training, you can massively transform your sales, but you're going to charge $20,000 for what you do, not $2,000. The reason I did it for you is because I had like 20 people tell me that you deserved it the most.
Thank you so much, man. Like I have never had anybody just, out of the goodness of their heart, spend over an hour with me like this. Like everyone has a profit motive, and I know you do ultimately long-term, but I know in this particular moment, you're just trying to help me out. And I just want to say thank you so much, heartfelt, because
you're welcome.
People don't do that, man, and I really appreciate that.
So I didn't want to stress myself out by checking on Russ daily. So I asked my team at the end of each week to cut together a highlight reel of his coaching and progress and just send it to me. But week 1 didn't exactly go as planned. All right, week 1, let's see how Russ is doing. Looking for the highlight reel. Wait, what? He did. Oh my gosh.
That Russ dude never showed, man. Hasn't been here all week.
No. Dude, I only had a month to triple this guy's sales and he hasn't showed up to the first week. Russ, brother, what's going on, man? I just got word from the team that you did not show up to any of the calls the whole first week. What's going on, brother? So apparently he didn't sign some paperwork and there was some miscommunication between him and the team. It's not going as planned. All right, it's week 2, and apparently Rush did show up this time. So let's see how he is doing.
Russ, glad to have you here, man. I heard we're going $20K for the offer now. What were you charging before we go into the $20K range?
So when I met Dan, I was charging $2,000. He made a really good example for me. He pulled off his Rolex and said, "Would you buy this for $1,000?" And I was like, "Well, of course, because it's you." He goes, "But if it was some random dude on the street, of course you wouldn't, because you would think it was a scam." He goes, "You can't go around telling people you're going to build them a marketing department for $2,000. Even if you would do it, they're not going to believe you." So on my first call with Dan, he's like, "From now on, you sell this for $20K, right?" So I chickened out. I'll be honest with you guys, I'd love to be held accountable. Like I just simply haven't had the balls to drop $20K on somebody, probably because it's a limiting belief. Like, I've barely done over $20K months. So to charge that one time is a scary thing, not to ask for the money, but to say, oh my God, now I have to make it worth it to them and I have to fulfill on this. And that's what's creeping in the back of my mind, right?
So when it comes to having the confidence to do that, it's understanding, again, you don't have, because from an emotional standpoint, there's the work that we have to do, right? Depending on our money mindset, our experiences growing up, all of that, we have to work through that, because that's what I had to go through to start charging higher ticket. But from a logistical standpoint, just know the numbers, know what's possible for them. If they do the work, it's no, I'm only taking clients that are going to do the work. There's no exception. Marketing, sales calls, that should always be front and center, which is
Right.
the reason why we work with higher level clients is because they know it only takes one deal to produce an ROI. Right. Everything after that, they're printing cash.
Yeah, I wasn't on the call yesterday, and I just wanted to share with you guys. Quite honestly, man, I'm not at the level with the rest of you guys. I didn't, I wasn't somebody who was killing it and then I'm going to blow it up even bigger like I hear you guys talking about. I was somebody that, you know, Dan was so generous to help me take my offer that's pretty good and make it a lot better. So I feel pretty intimidated when I listen to these calls, you know, because you guys have your shit all together and ducks in a row, and I'm dealing with, like, you know, bad debt and offers that I'm not so sure of, and personal you know, insecurities in my head. So I do appreciate the you know, I'm part of these calls because it's actually really helpful to me, but I just feel like, man, I got so much work to do, you know. So I just wanted to share that with you. Like, I wasn't just blowing you guys off, but you know, I'm working on, you know, getting my act together much better than it is.
Let me ask you this. If you're part of this, even if you feel intimidated or overwhelmed, do you feel like you grow in these calls?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm so much more confident in my ability to present my offer and be confident in it than I was when I started. Because I thought I was kind of good at it at first, and then I was like, no, man, I worked for this. I earned this shit. I just need a better way to present it. And you're really helping me bring that out, you know?
Yeah, too easy, man. And so when we think about like all of these other things you potentially may feel intimidated about, just like all things, dude, like if we've never been to the gym in a long time, sometimes we're like self-judging, like, oh, I'm gonna like be lifting like the 5-pounders, you know, like what are people gonna think that I've been just lifting for forever? And we have to do the work to move through those thoughts, and that's part of the work. And so when you're part of community elements like this just allows you to become more aware of different things to expect in the future. This helps you become aware of possible gaps that you were completely unaware of before, which is why I love like little masterminds, because other people ask different questions you didn't even think about, and it just forces you to grow. The one thing that I would say is just make sure you don't direct all of the overwhelm to yourself, like where you start blaming yourself, right? Where you basically say, ah, man, I'm not at these guys' level. I'm not doing that, because dude, that's why we're here.
All right, 2 weeks, no sales, and we are not any closer to our goal. And he's dealing with massive self-confidence issues. All right, I think at this point, I need to start thinking about how I'm gonna make this tattoo cool. Like what story I'm gonna have to put behind it to seem like I'm a badass for having Joe Biden sniffing a kid on my back. I really hope Phil has a sense of urgency here, because I do. Week 3, baby, week 3, let's go.
Hey, what's up, man? I got good news today.
Yeah, what do we got, bro?
Again, I didn't sell it for 20K. Hear me out. A guy randomly hit me up last night and wanted to buy one of my courses at like 9 o'clock at night. He's like, you have any others? And I showed him, and he bought that one too, right? And he goes, do you have anything where you just do it for me? And I showed him the sales page, and he goes, how much is that? And instinctively I said, it's 5K, because I was like, this guy just bought these courses. There's no way you can buy it. He goes, cool, send me the invoice. So this guy, literally in 15 minutes of talking, he bought 2 courses for $600, and then he bought a 5K package.
Come on, baby, come on, baby.
Without any resistance or sales call. This was all done through Messenger, and I have no idea who this guy is. So yeah, I mean, I definitely owe Dan a new testimonial video, because literally after a Zoom call with him and a few huddle calls with you guys, I mean, I've brought in cash collected, you know, $17,000. I mean, for a lot of people, that's not a lot, but for me, that's more than I've done in a month in a while.
Oh, baby, no Joe Biden tattoo for this guy. You know what? I don't need to see a week 4 highlight. Let's surprise this dude. Let's show up at Russ's house. Right around the corner from Russ's. He thinks we're getting on Zoom, but I'm actually going to knock on his door and surprise him. So let's go. Right his balls out here. All right, let's do this. I hope this is the right house. What's up, man? How you doing? How's it going?
I didn't know you were gonna show up.
I think your wife was onto it. She was smart.
Yeah,
she was
out
onto
there.
it.
She was saying, you're gonna want to come answer the door yourself. Like, I was telling her to get it.
Oh, you walked up? Awesome, bro. How you doing? Congratulations. Sweet. What's up, dude? I have to tell you something that I didn't tell you at the beginning. Okay. And you're gonna think I'm insane. So, the reason I was so on you to do it was not just for you. I made a challenge to myself. If I couldn't at least triple your sales in 30 days, I had to get a tattoo of Joe Biden sniffing a child on my back.
So it was really important to do.
So you started at $4,000 a month, and you rounded off the 30 days with, it was 32, right?
32, yeah. That was the most I ever did.
Wow. How'd you feel?
It was almost like surreal, kind of like it is right here. Like, I didn't expect you to be in my house today. So like,
you never know what I'm gonna do.
Like, I'm sitting here with Dan Henry in my office, like, and this is gonna be on YouTube, and I can watch it. I was just telling my wife, like,
and I was sharing this with you too, like right before this happened, you know, I had that bad month, like 4K. I had a tax bill I didn't expect. I had some other expenses, and you know, the bank account balances were getting to the point where I'm like, dude, I gotta make some money or something's gonna happen. And then literally I meet you, I start closing deals, and then, you know, the bank account more than doubles, like way more than doubles.
Has it changed anything else in your life?
You know, it's given me more time to hang out with my daughter. Like tonight I'm taking her to a Rays game. When I get into a money crunch, I close this door right here. No one sees me. I'm a bad dad, I'm a bad husband, I'm a bad dog owner, right? Because all I do is work until I solve the problem.
Yeah.
And now I have the problem solved because I know I can sell things at will for a higher price because I know I'm worth it now. The very first Zoom call we had is what really started that process. You know, at first, like you were like kind of hardcore about some things on the call. You were like, if you don't get over that, you can't be an entrepreneur. And I was like, oh shit, he's really gonna beat me down, right?
Listen, you saw the tattoo that I would have had to get. I had no time to waste.
Right, but the thing is like, I wasn't ever gonna make that switch in my head until somebody got real with me like you did. And I think the reason why I clicked with you was because once I linked up what you taught me with what Phil taught me and that actually worked, I was like, there it is.
So because you're making more money now and you don't have to close that door and you don't have to lock yourself away, you get to spend more time with your daughter.
I do, and you know, as we talked about on that front, I mean, dude, I had tears in my eyes that day. You probably remember, I was just like, you're like, why do you want to do this, Russ? And I was like, because I miss spending time with my daughter, you know? And now I'm not missing that time. And that's really important to me. You know, money is great. We can always make more money, but I can't ever get that time back.
The worst part about running a business that takes up all your time is that you grow old and you look back and you go, crap, I never had time to even sit with myself. I never had time to fix parts of myself. And next thing you know, you're old and maybe you have money, maybe you don't. But if you never had time, it's not a good thing to look back on. So I'm happy that I figured it out, and that's why I'm so passionate about helping other people like you figure it out. And that's one of the reasons I picked you for this experiment. Your story was like literally my story, like the exact story, right. Almost. Yeah. And so I really wanted to help you out. And
I appreciate it, and I know I say thank you, and I appreciate you, Dan, but I mean, if I never did this with you, like these changes wouldn't have happened, and I would still be in that loop. And that door would be closed, and I would be here sitting pissed off looking at my computer, and my daughter wouldn't be going to a baseball game tonight. So I owe you an eternal debt of gratitude because what you taught me won't ever leave me. Right? I might have a bad month someday, we all do, but I will never lose this belief in myself that you taught me. So I just want to thank you.
That's awesome, brother. Awesome, man. Awesome. Congratulations, dude. Awesome. So when I decided to make this video, I wasn't really sure what to expect, and I didn't know how things were gonna go. But I'm glad they went the way they did because I learned something very valuable. You see, when we're kids, we all have essentially the same dream. At some point when we're a child, we look up at the stars and we say, I want to change the world. But we don't quite know how. And we often make it more fantastical than it is in real life. But how it actually happens in real life is you figure out how to solve a problem in your life. And then you realize that you can solve that problem in other people's life, a problem they haven't solved yet. And when you're good at solving a problem, it is your duty to go out there and offer that solution to as many people as possible. And the great part is you can build an amazing business doing that. And for Russ got to do that. And I got to realize that as burnout as I get sometimes, this is why I do it, to see people like Russ have a problem that I solved years ago, learning sales, learning marketing, solved in his life. So he can go out and solve problems in other people's lives. And so you may not be the next Steve Jobs, you may not be the next Mark Zuckerberg, but you can be the next you. And even if it's in just a small way, you can do your part to change the world. And you should. Now, what you didn't see in this video is when I was at Russ's house, I sat with him for a good 45 minutes and taught him some advanced sales tactics and advanced closing methods. So if you're somebody that nerds out on advanced sales and marketing tactics, I am going to leave a link in the description to an unlisted video that it's the entire conversation with Russ and myself where I taught him some of these advanced selling strategies. So don't forget to check that out, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss my next adventure. See you in the next one.